and welcome to this week's Health Chatty Chat with me, Happy on Fruit. Rhiannon is my actual name. So this week I have a special week for you because I'm going to be talking all about water, and specifically I'm going to be talking about tap water. I'm going to be talking about the issues with that, why I don't drink it personally. Some of the things I want to show you, this is really exciting, I want to show you inside my distiller. So that is my distiller, which is why I'm not sitting here today. I usually sit here and you can see my lovely pineapples. Oh, and my aloe vera this week, you're there. If I look over here, it's because that's where my camera usually is, but it's here today. So, just letting you know. So, I have a really cool episode here for you today in our our weekly health chatty chat. But if you have any questions, then please do just let me know. You're very, very welcome to ask a question in the live chat, because I can check it on my little phone down here. So without further ado, shall we say, let's get to it. I can also chat a little bit about the end about just this lovely fruit rack I've got here. If there's anything you want to know about the fruit that I've got, maybe what I use aloe vera for, or you know why I've got so many pineapples. Oh, but if you're like acquainted with me, you'll know why there's so many pineapples, and you'll know why they're upside down. So I'm actually really excited this week. I've done quite a lot of research for you guys because I learned all about tap water about 6 years ago when I first started kind of learning about, you know, natural health, and I started to explore the kind of the ways that how do I put this without completely just how do I say this, I kind of like after I went vegan I realised that there was a lot of misinformation out there, and I started to become very skeptical of the health information that I knew and the safety of certain things that I had been consuming. For example, like when I went vegan, it was very much, I had it drummed into me from doctors. Literally, I had a doctor tell me that I needed to eat meat. And when I didn't, and I explored the health implications of actually eating meat and looked at the scientific studies of it, I was just absolutely horrified. And it just made me think, like, what else am I being kind of misinformed about? And it led me through this whole magical time, really, of just being completely open-minded and just throwing everything I learned out the window and kind of starting fresh with health information. And it's when I started really questioning everything, and that's when I really was taught about kind of tap water, and that's when I really looked into it. So I've actually forgotten a lot of the information that I learned 6 years ago because I kind of learned it all and did the research, and then it like went right out of my head because I was like, well, I know it now, so I don't need to revisit it really. But basically, there's a lot of impurities in tap water. The tap water in the UK is actually said to be one of the best waters in the world, like best quality and safest drinking water to drink. And there are a lot of regulations on water. I don't want to gloss over that. There's a lot of regulations on water. For example, I think it's lead. You're only allowed 1 UG. Oh, sorry, I've written it down. Yeah, 1 UG per litre, I think it is, to actually of lead in water for it to be safe, which means you would need to have 1,000 litres or something for it to be poisonous. So it is really carefully monitored in some ways, but it's also not monitored in a lot of ways. From the research that I was doing today, there seems to be about 30 chemicals in tap water that they test for and they measure and they keep track of, but there's over 300, I think it was. So a lot of these figures that I'm getting and the information that I'm getting, I've looked at waterpure.co.uk, which cites all of their sources. So it's things from the Express newspaper, which are citing from Birmingham University studies. There's also, I'm going to be quoting from Open College Info, so it's opencollege.info, and they've been looking at the Birmingham University studies as well on water. So that's where a lot of these figures and this research that I've been doing has come from. But you're welcome to go online and look up some of it yourself. It's all there. So what was I saying? yeah, so there's, oh, I've got it over here. So there's 330, so this is according to the opencollege.org, 330 identified man-made chemicals detected in the UK tap water, and that was in 2016. And the water companies are only testing for about 30. So there's over 300 chemicals that could potentially be in water that aren't even being tested for. And if they're not being tested for, they're not looking for it, they're not going to be monitoring that properly. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of the actual chemicals that can be in tap water. So according to the opencollege.info, there's liquid chlorine, which most of us know is that there's chlorine in the water, and that's put there during chlorification when they're treating the water. And that's kind of like used obviously to kill off a lot of the bacteria. But the problem with that, especially in my opinion, the problem with that is that that's going to be killing everything. That's going to be killing good bacteria, bad bacteria, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like like cholera was cured by cleaning water systems, but I do think there is potentially better ways to get clean water without consuming chlorine every single day, you know, cooking with it and stuff. So yeah, there's chlorine, which is also corrosive. That's a really interesting fact. So the pipes that the water is going through is actually very corrosive material, so it can be damaging the pipes as well, which can be leaking the pipe material into the drinking water, and that's dangerous because that's after it's been like tested and stuff as well. So yeah, there's also products produced by that chlorification that I said, this is according to the opencollege.info, can potentially be carcinogenic as well. And these are things like the see if I can say this word right, the trihalometanes. There you go. And that's according to the Birmingham University studies as well. And that's formed during the chlorification process. And there's links between cleft palate and also birth defects, heart defects in babies, which is obviously, if that's the case, and that's very serious. So there's also things like fluoride, which a lot of us know. There's fluoride, and this is put in tap water. It said it's put in tap water to help our teeth and things. The fluoride is actually something I really don't trust at all. There's a lot of talk in the health food communities of it calcifying the pineal gland, which is supposed to be like a spiritual centre of the brain. But there's also links to it to the thyroid, actually causing thyroid problems, which just in itself can cause mood swings, sleep issues, and issues with weight as well, and just all sorts of trouble that we don't want for our bodies, you know. So there's that as well, and I don't trust that at all, and I don't actually have fluoride toothpaste. I actually make my own toothpaste. I literally just use activated charcoal for toothpaste. It's a beautiful whitener, and sometimes you can use a bit of coconut oil with that if you need like a buffer, because sometimes it can be a bit abrasive. That's just what I use for teeth. So there's also hormones in a lot of water as well. So hormones such as estrogen, which because of people using, people using like birth control and things like that, and being on the pill and things, people are urinating out estrogen, excess estrogen, and it was actually found that there were fish being affected by the high estrogen levels when the water was going into these rivers, like this estrogen rich water. So that's obviously something we don't want to be having. We don't want to be having excess hormones being kind of pumped into our system and things like that. So just being aware of like hormones, and also the hormones that are maybe being injected into farm animals as well. I'll get into more of the causes of these pollutants basically. So pesticides as well, lots of pesticides from farms, from using weed killers and things like that, which is obviously going into the water systems and polluting it, and potentially even coming into tap water as well. Also, there's what these cause, they're salts of So there were found to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 main salts of in tap water. And these are actually referred to DTS, which stands for the total dissolved solids. So in every glass of tap water, there is a small trace amount of these chemicals, basically, and it's just about monitoring how much is in there and trying to get as little as possible. That's basically what these water treatment companies do. They get as little as possible, so, but it's still there. That's the problem, it's still there. So there's salts of arsenic, radium, barium, cadmium, mercury, aluminium, copper and lead. So lead can be from car exhaust fumes. It can also be from lead piping as well. So if your house is more than 50 years old, it can actually have potentially being used lead piping still, which is actually quite scary. I'm pretty sure mine is. So yeah, there's lots of just trace amounts of these chemicals potentially in our water, which is really quite scary if we think about it. Even just trace amounts, it's going to add up over time. It's, you know, when these are things that are unnatural for our body. So I want to talk a little bit about how this stuff can get into our system. So where's all this stuff coming from, basically? Where is all this pollutants coming from? So sewage from people. So like I said, the estrogen's getting in the water because people are urinating it out, essentially. These maybe cows as well being given these hormones and things in the farms, and these animals being given antibiotics and things, and also from industrial places as well. So sewage from workplaces and things, it's all going into the water system. So runoff from roads, so you think of all the pollutants in car exhaust fumes, all of that being washed away into the sewers. So accidental oil spills as well. So obviously if something is spilt into the ocean or spilt into a waterway, then it circulates because the ocean's currents circulate all around the world. I mean, I've been learning about this with my daughter. My daughter does litter picking and like eco-activism. So I've been learning all about how litter, you can drop litter on land, it will blow into a river, be carried into sea, and from there it can literally circulate the whole planet, around every single sea, because of the currents and the tides and the movement of the water. So it's really scary to think how all these pollutants can actually circulate. So what else? Litter. Quite frankly, litter and non-biodegradable plastics. So this is something else I've been learning from my daughter's eco-activism. So litter, like plastic for example, doesn't actually decompose the way that organic matter does. It kind of just breaks apart into really small particles. And this is a problem because it's polluting at a very small level, a level that's actually quite hard to get out. So it's actually these plastic toxins essentially, these like tiny particles of plastic are just everywhere in the water. So being ingested by the animals, they're being ingested in our water. So that's a huge issue, you know, it's a huge issue. And all that litter that's just being thrown onto land or being in the oceans already, it's all kind of like breaking up in the sun into these small dangerous particles. So that's a big problem. So agriculture, so farms, animal farms, and even fruit farms, like my poor fruit here, creates this dangerous waste sometimes, you know, with pesticides, the rain washing these pesticides into the kind of the groundwater and that going into rivers. It's all kind of like the weed killers that are being used, the animal waste. So the animal waste is actually a big problem and can contain a lot of things that aren't meant to be in our water supply. So animal waste can be very dangerous, and a lot of these farms have like these big cesspools which actually can leach into the water, and it can be very dangerous. So I've mentioned the pipe damage as well. Pipe damage and chemicals from the pipes can leach into the water, especially if they're old pipes. And things like if it's got like damaged pipes as well, there can be even microbes from the surrounding soil to the pipes actually getting into the water supply. So that again can be a serious issue. And also air pollutants. So you think any of the pollutants that are in the air, so from the planes, from the cars, any of these pollutants from bonfires, all of this stuff, right? As soon as it rains, it clears the air and it washes these dirt particles down basically onto the earth. But where are those toxic particles going? They're going washing into the rivers, again, just getting into the water systems, you know, getting into the sewers, and that's really dangerous. And that's where this big long list of pollutants are coming from. And also from, if you think from anything that you're using chemicals in, so washing tablets, like for washing machines or for dishwashers, all of these added chemicals that bubble bath, cosmetics, all this stuff is all being washed into our water systems, and essentially getting filtered, but not entirely, just being chlorinated, so having chemicals added to it. So you're not necessarily taking away everything that's dangerous, you're just adding things to make it not full of microbes, essentially. And so it may not actually be doing our bodies that much good. That is the point that I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about with that. I hope I haven't bored you all too much. So hi Rebecca, thank you for joining the Fruity Friday live chat. I've just been kind of harping on about the dangers of water and the stuff that could be in it. I want to show you now firsthand exactly what is in my water distiller. Because the thing is, there's lots of different options that you can use for cleaning water, and one of them is distillation, and that's the one that I have opted for. So I did some research and I had a look at different things that you can use to clean your water. But in my opinion, none of them do exactly what a distiller does. I don't know, these other kind of like techniques are either very costly, or they like require someone to literally come and refit a whole system in your home, and I just haven't got that kind of cash. So I opt for something that was affordable and extremely effective. There's lots of different things that you can try, but I want to show you the crud in my distiller because it's scary. And what I've done is actually, this is probably about maybe 3 weeks worth of build up, and I've left it because I wanted to show you guys, and it's been driving me bonkers because I want to clean that, but I wanted to show you the build up. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to get round to the other side of the camera actually, and I'll explain how my distiller works, shall I? Okay, and I hope this all works for you properly. Let's just sort this out here. So bear with me, lovelies. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to unplug here. Sorry, just so I can move. I'm also going to flip you around. Say hi to me. Hello, people that are here. How do I flip this round? I don't think I can now. Okay, we're stuck this way, are we? Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's there. There we go. Here we go. So this is the distillation corner. So if you're unfamiliar with the process of distillation, let me show you here. So this is a distiller. This is the heating chamber. So distillation is basically the process of evaporating a liquid, having it condense and collecting the water vapor. So what's left in here is going to be whatever was in the water that isn't pure water. So the water vapor is heated in this tank, and then it's got these coils inside, these condensation pipes, and they come out into here. So here I actually have another filter. So in there I've got a charcoal filter. So charcoal is, well, activated charcoal, shall we say. It's actually a really cool substance. I've got it here. So this is my activated charcoal for the distiller, and I will show you here. It just comes in a little bag like this, and you just pop it inside that little funnel there, and it just gives it a little extra filter at the end just to make sure nothing's got through. So they just look like this little pocket that you kind of you literally just take this out, fold it over like this, and pop that in once it's out of the packaging. And that just gives an additional filter to it, because the activated charcoal will absorb the particles that are not pure. So it collects about 4 litres worth, my one. It's a mega home distiller, and I don't sell them, so I'm not like I'm not recommending this just because I'm selling it or anything like that. It's literally, this is what I use, and I got this one secondhand on Facebook selling site, actually, luckily, and for £50, and they're actually about £160 new, and it had been used once. I'm not even kidding you. It was like shiny, brand new, and yeah, so I was just quite lucky with that, really. I kept an eye out for new ones when my old one was getting a bit old. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of white stuff around the edge. I don't know if you can see that, a few white bits, and that's just where it needs to be cleaned, because it's just getting a bit full of crud. So I want to show you what's left behind, because all those things I just spoke to you about, all those pollutants, I want to show you firsthand exactly what that looks like. So all those pollutants, what they look like in the bottom. So there you go, that's the top of it there. Let's have a look inside, shall we? So this is inside the distiller jug, and that's what all that residue looks like. So this is a build-up of lime scale and other dissolved chemicals. So I would love to get this tested. I would love to find out exactly the chemical composition of all of that sludge, because it is absolutely gross, to be honest with you. And this is what I think about when people talk about these alternative to distillation, or these alternatives to distillation, like filters and, you know, those sorts of things. I always think, do you get chemical residue like that? Because if you're not getting that out of it, then it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? It's just not good enough. You should be seeing the amount of yuck that is in the distiller. So I'm actually I want to show you now, right, exactly what's in it. So I'm going to get it out and kind of put it, sorry, get you to balance. I'm going to get the yuck out, and I'm going to put it into this little pot so that we can have a look at it a bit closer. Oops, I'm going to smash everything in the process. Right, so what's really interesting actually as well is that I've taken this distiller around with me many places. So look, it's crazy, this stuff. It's like clay. So yeah, just going to get it out there so you can see exactly what we're dealing with here. So I would have cleaned this long before now. I've just left this because I really want to show you this. And this is the stuff that basically we're consuming if we don't clean our water. And I think once you've seen this, well, at least this is how it was for me. Once I'd seen this, because my friend had a distiller, and once I saw the state of the water, I was like, damn, I am definitely never drinking tap water ever again. You know, and unless there's a filter system that is going to get out this stuff, let's have one last look in there. Unless there's a filter system that's going to get out this stuff, I'm not interested in it, you know. I'm just going to wash my hands, guys. Because a lot of people, they kind of say they have these, you know, there's like Berkeley distillers and things, and I just think, is it getting out that? Is it getting this out of it, you know? Because that to me is just, I don't want that in my body. Absolutely don't want that in my body. No, that's not clean water to me, you know? It's absolutely rank. So I'm going to flip you around now. Hi. Oh, you're there again. See, I knew I was going to do that. Hello. Just jump you up again and get my little light on so that you can see me properly. Hello, we're back in business. Okay, so that is my poured distiller that needs a good clean, and I didn't clean that for you guys because I wanted you to see that. And what I do is I do clean it. Oh, I've got a question here. It says, what make is your distiller? Oh, it's Mega Home. And where did you buy it? So the first one I actually bought from my friend because he was able to give me a part payment. So I was able to like pay a little bit each month. But this one, like I said, I got on Facebook second hand for £50. Which is a really, really, really good deal. Because one of these blender jugs alone, the container jugs are about £30 replacement. So that's a good deal. So what worries me is the alternatives. So a lot of people have like a Brita filter or things like a Berkfield stainless steel filter, and while these are great because they don't actually use electricity, because my one uses electricity, so your electricity bill will go up a bit, totally worth it in my opinion. But yeah, it's unless you're getting out that yuck in your cleaning, your purification process, then to me it's just not clean enough. Like now, once I've seen that, that's what I expect to be cleared out, because it's just gross when you really see it, because that's everything that's left in the water after you've taken out the clean H2O, you know. So there are a few other options, like a reverse osmosis machine, and that's using high pressure basically to get to like force water through these very semi-permeable membranes to actually get out the bigger particles. So that seems to be the second kind of like best, if you like. Some people prefer it, maybe because it's, I don't know, maybe it's cheaper after it's been installed. I know people that have had their whole home redone, so like I think the only water in the house that's not reverse osmosis is the toilet water, which is pretty incredible. So like it's like I still bathe in tap water, which is not great, but yeah, it's pretty, you just got to do your best, didn't you? But at least I'm not drinking it, I suppose. Someone here, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for coming. The little live chatty chat. It says, what do you do on holidays? So I bring my distiller. Quite shamelessly, it's like an essential. I bring my distiller. I've thought about getting a travel one, but I just haven't managed to do that. So I take it with me. If you can see, one of my distiller jugs has a handle and one of it doesn't. And the one that doesn't is a happy accident. So I would love to turn around to you and say, I didn't put a handle on it because I intentionally left it there, but no, I literally just couldn't be bothered to fit the handle on when it came. But then it turned out to be a really good thing, because it meant that, because this glass jar fits perfectly inside the chamber. So before I go travelling or go somewhere, I wash it out, I clean it, and then I put the glass jug, I kind of wrap it in like a protective bag, and then I slip it in, and then put on the lid and wrap it round with some extra kind of wrapping stuff to keep it safe, and then I travel with it. And I was touching on this subject a little bit earlier in the video when I was talking about the distiller, and what's really interesting that I found about taking the distiller to different places is actually noticing how different the sludge is in different places around the UK. So for example, when I went to Brighton, for example, there wasn't actually as much as there is here, which is quite interesting. Especially interesting because a lot of people in Brighton are very, very open-minded and very kind of like, not all of them, but there's a high population compared to where I live that are very open-minded and very spiritually natured, which could potentially be a result of less fluoride water. Now that's a complete, just thought of mine. I'm not basing that on any scientific data. That's just a, that could possibly be something interesting. But that's literally just a of me. That has no scientific I haven't tested that or nothing. But it was interesting to see how the water was less. There's also a big difference between where I am, which is near London in England, to when I went to Ireland. So when I went to Ireland, it was just outside of Dublin, and the water was really dark. Like the sludge was a lot darker than it is now. It was almost kind of like really grey, whereas here it's very, very white. Probably largely because of limescale and things. But like it's a very hard water area that I'm living in. But actually when I was in Ireland, it was really interesting because it was like really, really dark, which could be an indication of extra heavy metals, which is definitely not something you want to be consuming. Very, very toxic. So yeah, it's just been interesting taking it to different parts and seeing. I wish I had like a proper testing kit, like I could test for what's actually in that, like if it's lead or if it's arsenic or something. But I've looked up ways to test for different things. I literally have no idea where I'd even start with all of that. But it would be really, really cool. Or maybe if I send it to an independent lab, I don't know. But I think it's really interesting what I get out. And I know, just my common sense, my gut instinct is like, do not put that in your body. So I don't. I have the option not to. So yeah, there are a few different options of that you can use. There's UV sterilisation, there's alkaline water filters. That seems to be quite good, but it doesn't remove everything. Carbon filtration, where you use activated charcoal. So my distiller is great because it uses distillation, but it also uses activated charcoal filtration right at the end. So that's a double whammy. So you've also got de-ionization, which is basically reverse osmosis, but there's the addition of an electrode to basically attract certain charged particles to it to purify it deeper. And then there's my distillation. So there are problems with distillation. And there's a lot of controversy around it as well. So I've pulled up websites before that say if you drink distilled water, you'll die. Like, you'll die. And just so you know, I've been drinking distilled water for 6 years now, and I'm not dead. And I'm also not lacking in minerals. Like, my hair would have fallen out long before now. I would look ill if I wasn't getting enough minerals. I would be feeling awful if I wasn't getting enough minerals. So that's not something I actually believe in at all. And the issue is with distilled water is it doesn't contain minerals. It doesn't contain anything. It's pure water. And that's the issue that some people may face. If their only source of minerals is tap water, so they're depending on their tap water for magnesium or whatever, or their mineral content, then if they switch to distilled water, then they're going to be having a problem, right? Because they're not getting those nutrients from anywhere else. You know, this is someone who's having a really poor diet, you know, someone who's having like Haribo sweets and Red Bull, and that's about it they drink. That's where you're going to be facing an issue. But if you're having fruit and vegetables all the time, and green leafy vegetables and big salads, you guys have seen my big salads. I'm eating that every single day, right? I'm having green smoothies, I'm having fruit all the time. My body is flooded with minerals constantly. I don't need it from my tap water. And actually, I would rather get my minerals from a safe source. So it's much safer and much more health promoting for me to get my minerals from fruit. And you've got to think of this, I've said this before, like when I'm talking about eating meat and things like that, it's like, yeah, sure, you can get protein from meat, and it might be a really easy way to get protein, but it comes in this package deal. Food and everything you consume is a package deal, and it's no good getting one thing with a whole host of nasties when you could find an alternative that gives you the thing you want in this health promoting package. So, for example, with the water, so you can get, say for example, you need, let's think about what's some of the minerals that's in water. I don't know if I've actually got this. There's calcium, and there's calcium in water, so we require calcium, right? So if there's calcium in the water, and that's our only source of calcium, and we stop having that, then yeah, we're going to get poorly. But if you're relying on tap water for that calcium, or choosing tap water just because of the minerals and the calcium, then you're going to be getting the calcium, you're going to be getting everything you need, but wrapped up in this package of other chemicals that you can't even determine what they are. The people who test the water don't even know exactly what's in there. They're not testing for everything. How could they test for everything, you know? So you're kind of like going there for the minerals, and you're going to be getting those minerals. You'll get the calcium, but you'll get it in this package deal that's actually quite dangerous for our health. Whereas if we get the calcium from butterleaf lettuce, we're actually going to be getting it with vitamin C and distilled water. There's distilled water in fruits, you know. You're going to be getting that with all the magnesium, all the other things in this safe, healthy fibre, in this health promoting package. So you've really got to think about what is the food you're eating. It's not just eating meat for the protein, because when you're eating that meat, you're getting all sorts of things. You're going to be getting all the hormones that have been injected into the antibiotics. You're going to be getting the negative energy from it, you know, from an animal that's literally been in pain or tortured its whole life. Drinking milk for calcium because you want to be having like strong bones or whatever, and at the same time this milk has been literally taken from this animal that has been suffering. It's bad juju, you know, bad energy. It's much better to get it from somewhere that is less suffering, less intentional suffering. So that's kind of like the way I think about health. It's a holistic point. We can't just isolate these nutrients and say, well, I can get it from there, so that must be where I get it from. No, look at the package. Look at what the package does. Yeah, you might be getting calcium, but what else are you getting with it? Is there a safer way to get calcium that actually makes you feel better, makes you look better, fits in better with the way that you believe in life? You know, it's really important, basically, to think about this as holistically, you know. And this is what I don't like about newspaper articles half the time, honestly, because, or like these studies sort of thing, it will say like, or even like plastered on the front of a food wrapper, right? It will say high in protein. It's like, great, but what else is in there? Like, my arm is high in protein. You don't want to eat it, do you? Like, I find it really irritating that they isolate these nutrients and they say, well, this is high in protein. So people think, well, then everything in it must be good. And it's a marketing ploy, you know, an absolute marketing ploy. And we need to start waking up, guys, and thinking for ourselves and thinking like, just seeing through the packaging, seeing through the misinformation of like, look, it's good for you because it's got this one thing that's good for you in it. It's like, great. But what else is in there? What else am I going to consume when I consume it for that nutrient? Is there a safer way that I can get it from? That's the baseline of it, really. And for me, that's why distilled water works for me, because I know for a fact my diet is so packed full of minerals, so packed full of nutrients. I don't have to get it from dangerous tap water that I don't know what's in there. I don't have to hand over my trust into these companies, into this governing body. I don't have to pass on that trust to them to hope that they're giving me safe water. You know, I don't have to do that. I know for a fact I'm getting safe water because I make sure that I'm cleaning out the crud and I'm not consuming the crud and my daughter's not consuming it, you know. So it's really important to me to take our power back, to empower ourselves and to say, do you know what, I'm going to take my health into my hands. I'm not going to leave this to chance and leave this to, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't trust external sources to provide me with health. I stopped doing that quite a long time ago. You know, I don't follow the food pyramid. I don't follow what my doctor recommended to me when he told me to eat meat and dairy. I don't trust all the health information that the majority of us believe in. I explore alternative. I do what makes sense to me. and I follow my intuition. So if I'm feeling good and feeling great from it, I carry on. If my health is feeling not so great, I tweak it, I take it out, you know. And I think that's important for all of us to do, is to actually follow our intuition. You don't need to listen to me. You don't have to do what I do. This is just what I do. This is what I believe in. And this is why I believe in it. And this is what I've kind of based my knowledge and my lifestyle on. For me, it is working, and I'm very happy with it. But you've got to do what works for you. That's what I say to every single person I coach, or every single person that does one of my courses, is like, I will provide you with the problems and the mistakes that I've made, but you, and the conclusions that I've drawn on, and the research that I've done, but essentially you've got to do what works for you. You can't do what works exactly for me. You can take on board a lot of the teachings and the ideas, but be flexible. Be flexible. You need to trust your intuition, like what makes sense to you. You know, that's all you can do. So I have I have a load of comments just come up on here. On the video, so I'm just going to have a little look, and I've been babbling on for almost an hour now, so how about that? Let's have a little look. There I am. It's going to go volume, isn't it? Are you gonna? There we go. Great news. Okay, so it says meat is pumped with hormones. You can get just as much protein from plant-based food. Oh, absolutely. And that protein myth bugs me as well. I'll have to do a vegan special. Should I do a vegan special next week? Should we chat about veganism? And why I'm vegan and all the stuff. Should we do a vegan special? Let me know in the chat. I've gone all red, by the way. I always do that. I always go really red by the end of the live video. That's because I don't wear foundation either. And I get really hot by the end of it. I've got this like light here. I get really hot by the end. So, sorry about that. Oh, it says, exactly, and animals fear toxicity. It says, cave people, this is Sal. So, hello, Sal, for all of your comments. It says, cave people did not eat chemically induced food. No one questions it. Our DNA has not changed. Exactly. It's very strange that we consume the amount of chemicals we do now, yet people don't bat an eyelid. But you eat 5 mangoes, and people are like, what? You're gonna die. And you're like, no, you're not. Stop it. So it says, but what we see as alternative is actually the natural way. That's what I think. There's a meme going around at the moment that's actually really funny. It says, people call how I live alternative or new age, but it's actually been done it's an ancient practice. And absolutely, it's an ancient practice of tuning in with yourself and eating what the earth she provides. It says, I had my water distiller for over a year now and I wouldn't do without it. So that's Sarah. Oh, absolutely. I bring it to festivals. I'm not even kidding you. I feel really bad sometimes at a festival because I've got like an electric hookup and I feel like a bit of a cheat because it's like, I wish I could be one with the land, but no, I don't. The state the world is in, it's not in a natural state, is it? We've got pollution coming from all directions, so we've got to protect ourselves. And if I need to get myself an electric hookup and bring my distiller with me, I blooming well will. So Annie says, the protein myth was created as profiteering from the meat and dairy industries. Marketing, exactly as you said. The bias is down to money. Absolutely. It's all marketing, isn't it? It's aggressive marketing. Very aggressive marketing. It's eat meat or you'll die. And it's so aggressive. Like, it's all fear-based as well. Whenever whenever there is kind of like, even in the media, something going scare, I'm always very aware of that. I'm like, oh, what are they trying to make me scared of and why? You know? And if they're trying to make me afraid to not have it, I probably don't need it. It was actually thanks to you I bought a distiller. That was from Sarah. Brilliant. So Sarah, I'd be interested actually, where do you live? And what is, I call it crud. Is that really like just terrible of me? You're going to be like, Rihanna, what are you saying? Yeah. What's your crud like in your distiller? What is it? What's it like and whereabouts do you live? I'd be really interested to know, like, compare the colour. So, I don't know who's just tuned in now, but this is the crud, as I call it, that I just got out of my distiller. And if you can see it properly there. So yeah, it's like this thick, gross clay. But it's very, very white, very white. And I am just north of London, and that is what is in my water. I'm sorry, I talk like this sometimes towards the end of the video. It says, this is from Annie as well. Great chat in the live chat. I'm loving it. It's amazing how fear-based our media is. You only have to take time off it to feel much better. Oh, absolutely. Even social media at the moment. Are you guys noticing this as well? I'm literally having to just like take days off my phone where I'm just like, I can't hack this anymore. I can't hack the divide, the hate that's going on. It's like, if you don't do exactly what I do, then you're evil and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I can't believe, unfortunately, I feel like I can believe it, but it's so sad to see how easily divided everyone is being. Oh, it's just awful. Like, every single one of us, for goodness sake, is just doing their best with the information that they've got. Everyone is in a bit of a traumatized state. Whether you believe you need to wear a mask or not wear a mask, it's just like, we're all literally just trying to do the best to protect ourselves. Whether you think the danger is the government or whether you think the danger is a virus, then you're still, either way, we're all kind of scared. You know, we're all kind of like, this is not a normal situation. This is weird, and we're all having our rights kind of tweaked and played with. You know, we're all doing that, and all of us are just trying to find our way through this absolute fear that has been it's palpable. The fear around is palpable, and it's scary how easily people are just turning on each other. It's sad. It's really sad to see, because all of us are just doing the best. We're all just trying to keep ourselves safe. That's what we're doing. We're just trying to look after ourselves and look after our families. We all are coming from that same intention of basic love for ourselves and basic love for our children and our families. And I just wish people would just stop being so nasty to each other, you know? I know it's really easy when someone disagrees with you and then you almost like think that they're part of the problem. They're not helping the suffering because they're doing the thing that you disagree with. But each side thinks that about each other, and it's driving me bonkers, because it's just like, just ease up on each other, because we're all just doing our best, and I think empathy needs to come back. We need to empathise with each other more. Why does that person wear a mask? Why are they doing that? Why isn't that person doing it? I guarantee you it's not because they're selfish. I guarantee it. And it's not because they believe everything the government said. It is, people are just scared and they don't know what to do, and they're just doing their best with the information they got, and we just got to ease up and be nicer to each other, like seriously. It's doing my head in. That's my little rant over. Right, be nice, Jesus. It says, I live in the southern west coast of Scotland. My crud, it's nothing like yours. Mine is rusty metal looking stuff. Oh my gosh, that's really interesting. It says, I know England is the only country in the UK that has fluoride added into it. Maybe that's why your crud, I love it, that's why your crud's so bad. Oh, I've always wondered why my crud is bad. Sorry. It says, blueprint conditioned beliefs are programmed into us. Interesting there, Sal. Annie says, the greatest lessons are learned in hindsight, and this will be one of the greatest. But we have to have our own separate realities. We just have to be compassionate and understanding. That's what we need, more compassion. We're not all going to agree. No one ever has. When has society agreed on everything? We don't. That's why we need compassion for people's disagreements. And stop being so mean. Stop making memes slagging off each other, guys. Come on. So governments don't want you to think for yourself, as stress makes you easier to control. Interesting thoughts there. I also wanted to talk quickly about how to clean distiller, because that was something that was asked to me before I made this video, and I said I will answer it, so I'm going to. I'm going to put my little notes away. I think we've had enough of that, haven't we, my little notes. I get boring when I'm like reading notes. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I've got three methods actually. So on a general, I will wash it maybe, I will give it a good rinse out every couple of days. So I'll just rinse it under the tap and just rinse most of the residue away. And sometimes like what happens is it builds up on the bottom, it's almost like chunks of like little rocks, like flat long rocks like that form. So for that you need to break them down. So something that I use to break them down is this is what you get with the distiller. So this is the water residue cleaner. You can't see that, I'm so sorry. Or you can't see that, but there, that's what it looks like. It's like this little thing. I'm so red, oh my gosh. And yeah, so you just clean this with some hot water. It's got all the directions on the front there. Add 2 tablespoons, cover it up in there, turn it on, let it heat up. When it starts to, when it starts to drip through, you turn it off. And discard the bit that dripped through and give it a good clean out and give it a good wash out. But that, if you need to repeat that, you can, because it will start to break it down and then you wash it away and then you kind of just break it down a bit more. This has citric acid in it, and it says it's also got anhydrous. I don't actually know what that is, so I don't use this that regularly. I've got pure citric acid, so that's what I use. So I actually get this from a food shop. So I get this from the Asian market, and it's just citric acid. So this is what I use to clean like any lime scale off anything. So if I want to clean, for example, my taps or my sinks, I will do a video showing you how to do that eventually. That's what I use. I just wet the surface, sprinkle it on, wipe it off in an hour, and it's like bing, it's amazing. But yeah, that's what I use to clean the distiller. But you won't need to do that often. So I would generally clean. I clean it with how often? I don't know. Whenever I notice it, like it's just whenever it needs cleaning. I don't have like a cleaning schedule for it. I just whenever I think it's building up, like the kind of rock bits at the bottom. Whenever I notice it's building up, I just clean it then. You know. But it's probably like once every couple of months. I find if you're just washing it out like after each one, then it doesn't really build up too much. But yeah, but it's really good to wash it out regularly, and I can't wait to wash that out now. I left it for you. I wanted to show you it like as it is in there. I don't want to clean it out and then be like, this is what it is. Like, I wanted you to see it all in its distillation glory. So Sarah here says that she cleans hers with vinegar. So there you go, there's options, you know. And that's what I mean. It's not one size fits all always in life. Sometimes there's different ways to do things. But yeah, I do have distilled white vinegar. That's what I use sometimes for my cleaning. But in my washing, I don't use washing liquid. I just use distilled white vinegar, or I use like hot water. But yeah, that's how I clean it really. And obviously I've showed you these as well. I think that was everything that we wanted to chat about. So I hope you've enjoyed that. What time is it? 59. Rocking it. Hour. So yeah, is anyone else have any other questions before I shoot off and maybe do some yoga before dinner? Oh, I wanted to show you some of my fruit, didn't I? Should I show you some? Do you want to see some fruit quickly? Do you want to see what I got? So, okie dokie. I have my pineapples, which are upside down so that they get all of the beautiful, beautiful juice running down and ripening the whole thing, and they go beautifully, beautifully golden. So I actually had 4 pineapples and I had one for breakfast. A whole pineapple, I love it. So here's my aloe vera leaf. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? My aloe vera leaf. So my aloe vera I use for my face, which I could do with right now. Oh, I'm feeling very hot. I love aloe vera for my skin. I'll tell you a funny story about aloe vera, right? It's very sharp. Yeah, very, very sharp. It's got these spiky bits. So basically, these scratched my daughter when it was in my bag when we were shopping, And she was like, ow, oh, that aloe vera really, really hurt me. She was like, oh, it really hurts. I was like, oh, do you know what helped that? I was like, I put some aloe vera on it. And she just looked at me like dead-eyed. She was like, so funny. Ah! Oh, I love it. This, my friends, we have kept because my daughter didn't want to eat it and didn't want to throw it away, so I'm afraid this is probably going to rot there, but she loved it because look, it was all curly. It was all curly. What else? The rest of them go in the freezer. My grapes always go in the freezer. I love frozen grapes, so refreshing. As usual, I've got my red peppers, which I use for my raw sauces. These are my favourite type of peppers. I've also got all my tomatoes, that again I use for raw sauces. 10 points to Gryffindor, to whoever can tell me what this is. Was ist das? Come on, guys. It says, how do you deal with fruit flies? So I actually answered this in the last live Q&A. So if you have a look on my YouTube, all of these live talks are on my YouTube, Happy on Fruit, which you're very welcome to have a look at and watch back. I have my garlic, which again, fantastic for my raw sauces, won't be without it. Ginger, which I have in the morning as like, I have some fresh lemon. So I have these lemons and I cut them in half and I have them with a little bit of ginger in them. The recipe for my raw sauces and the recipe for my ginger drinks and everything like that is actually in my raw recipe ebook, which is called Feel Good Raw, which is, oh goodness, how many pages is it? 88, I think, 88 page. So if you would like that, it is actually £20. But if you would like a little deal, then you have to message me Pineapple Dreams, and then I know that you're a cool cat and you have been watching my live shows. So if you would like a deal on my coaching, my courses, or anything like that, and I know that you're a true fan because you've been here watching me yabber on for an hour, then message me Pineapple Dreams. You can message me on my Facebook, you can message me on my Instagram at Happy on Fruit, and you can also message me at my email, which is happyonfruit@gmail.com, and just write in the title there, Pineapple Dreams, and you can get yourself a little dealio. Or if you want to just have a free chat with me, just a free phone call over the phone, we can just chat about my inner work course, my raw food course, my kids holistic parenting courses, or any of my ebooks, my fruit guide, where you can learn about all the different fruits and how to get them ripe and what to do with them, which is also actually included for free in my raw food course. Or you can get that raw food ebook, which is literally, it's all the recipes that I have daily. These are the recipes that I live off of, you know. So it's basically, it's Feel Good Raw. It's what I eat to make me feel awesome, you know. So I'm really proud of that, and it's very pretty. It's very pretty. Yes, I've also got, obviously, I got the courgette section. Wonderful courgettes, and I love these courgettes. I told you before, I love this kind of like bendy. Oh yeah, I love these bendy courgettes where it's just like, oh, it's just lovely. Dip it in the sauce and I just eat like that. I accidentally bought an aubergine, guys. Accidentally bought an aubergine. It came in the packet with the courgettes, and I didn't notice. So I was like, oh, I've got an aubergine. Mine was like, what is that? Because I never really use aubergine because it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. Not raw, not really cooked. I use it. So I've got my mangoes up here. I've got these lovely cucumbers. I've got all these lovely cucumbers here, and I've got all these peaches down here as well. These are lovely cucumbers. They're all like curly, and they come without plastic packaging as well. And these ones I like because I made them into a heart. I had better ones, right, that I put into a heart here. And my daughter blooming ate them. I was like, where's my heart gone? And she's like, oh, I ate those cucumbers. I was like, no! I wanted a little heart there. They were like proper like hearty. Looked really good. But it's okay. So I've also got like all these mangoes up here, which I use for my raw sauces, because I like to have a low-fat raw food sauce. And I've also got lots of apples up there. These are all full of easy peeler kind of satsumas. My daughter loves them, so I buy lots of those. I've got lots of nectarines up there. So the nectarines up there are ripening, if you can see. They're all ripening up here. I've got my date boxes, this way, date boxes over here, which are all lovely fresh dates, which I use in smoothies, or my daughter munches them. And obviously my lemons. Lemons always go in a sauce, and they're great for the morning. I've got one sad piece of celery left. I need to buy more celery. I'll show you my fridge actually. My fridge is harbouring some delights, but everything in the fridge is really ripe, so I don't want to, what's the word? I do not want to let the fruit flies at them, so here we go. This is what is in the fridge so far. So at the back there, I've got my daughter's peanut butter. At the front here, I've got peaches, boxes of cherries. These cherries were 2 for £1.50. 2 boxes of cherries, so I've got lots of cherries. There's actually lots of cherries back there behind the mangoes. If you can see, you can't see, but there's like 2 other packs of cherries. And I've got these 2 mangoes because they were so ripe, the fruit flies were going to get them. So I've got some grapes as well, and these grapes need to be frozen. I haven't washed them and sorted them yet, so that's why they're in there. Let's see if I can put this up a little bit more. No, I can't. Oh, I'm holding everything. Yeah, so underneath those grapes, I'll show you, I've got beautiful plums, and I've got some beautiful nectarines. Oh, down the back there, I've got like a little cup of sauce from yesterday as well. Oh, come on, grapes. Come on, out you come. Don't be shy. So we've got these beautiful grapes down here. Oh, not grapes. Plums. I've got these beautiful plums. Absolutely gorgeous, and they're really soft. I think they're called Victoria plums. And then I've got the ripe nectarines, which are not going on the fruit rack because the fruit flies would just have a field day. So all the ripe fruit is in there. All the ripe peas. And then down here, I have the lettuce section. So that's where I've got all these lettuce. I've got all like a lot of cos lettuce and what's the word, like little gem lettuce as well. And they've got iceberg. Down the bottom there I've got some spinach, a little bit of kombucha left in there, and then I've got some vegetables as well for my daughter. So I've got some, well, sometimes I have the carrots, and she's got some broccoli as well. And then in the doorway, let's see here, sorry, right, there we go. So in the doorway there I've got my sauce from yesterday. So that's going to be my dinner tonight. I probably need to top that up because that's not actually a full portion left there. And I've also got some bottles of kombucha because I treated myself some kombucha, which is like a natural probiotic. And it's all raw and yummy. So that is the fridge. That is my fridge. And it's just, oh yeah, I've got my lemons up here that I haven't used. And I've got some turmeric, some fresh turmeric root. And I've also got a last bit of some aloe vera that I use for my face. So yeah, that is my fridge at the moment. Oh, and cucumber there as well. So I've got some cucumber and some blueberries. So anything that the fruit flies are going to be getting at basically goes in the fridge or the freezer. That's how I keep them at bay. Let me just okay. Let's put those there for now. And I'll close this up. And bring you over. Hi. Okay, here we go. We're back. We are back. This side facing me. I think it's going to fall off. Is it going to fall off? I don't even know anymore. Right. Either way, I will bid you all farewell. And thank you so much for joining me on today's... You're so lopsided. What are you doing? Look at you. Look at you. You're drunk, guys. Oh. Oh, look at you. Yeah. Thank you for joining me on today's Fruity Friday live chat. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you come next Friday. If you've got any suggestions of like topics you want me to talk about, like veganism or home education, then please let me know. Give me a little comment down here if you have any suggestions, or you're very welcome to message me if you want any like courses, or you want to talk to me for some help or anything like that. Oh, Annie says, thank you for your Q&A. She found it really interesting. So you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. So if you have any questions, do just let me know. Or if you have any suggestions for next week's video. My idea for next week is actually veganism. It might be quite interesting for me to chat to you guys about veganism. Or would you like just a random Q&A like we did a couple of weeks ago? Because yeah, I like those. I like when I just rock up with nothing planned and we just chat. That's actually, it's like therapy for me. It's like, let's actually talk about the things that are buzzing around in my head for once. So yeah, if you have any ideas or whatever you like, just put them down in the comments or let me know. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a share around, watch it on YouTube, because that helps me out, and yeah, do subscribe to my YouTube as well, because everything goes on there if you want to have anything to play back or anything like that. So yeah, thank you again so much for joining me. I am Rhiannon, and this is Happy on Fruit, and I hope you have enjoyed this show. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Sending you all loads of love. Oh wait, interested in vegan. Awesome. Mwah. Bye.